looks like you may open the month with a lot of hard work or feeling bogged down, feeling like, both of these are, this is a card, sometimes it's called oppression or carrying things. I always ask what's necessary when this card comes up, and this card is a card of like holding on to money. So what I'm saying is, with these two cards, what are your basics? What are the things that you need to get by, and what is extraneous? What is external? What is like extra weight that's bogging you down, Taurus? What are you carrying around that's not yours, or that you can let go of? So I'm gonna encourage you to let go of the baggage. This is 10 of Wands, and 10 of Wands is a card where sometimes it's called oppression. It means that he's like working really hard for a really long time. He feels tired, weary, oppressed. And I always ask when this card comes up, what can you put down that's no longer necessary? This is someone who's collected a lot of experience over time. Sometimes it's called the teacher card, and like teaching others can help with unloading some of the stuff that you've carried around. This is a card also of very strong people. Let's see, who is Barbara Streisand, for example, is a 10 of clubs. Madonna is a 10 of clubs. Sir Richard Branson is a 10 of clubs. I believe Elton John is also a 10 of clubs. I'll have to look that one up, but really like hardcore energy here. People who don't give up easily. And obviously 10 of clubs, it shows the resilience that a Taurus has. You guys don't tend to give up easily either. You kind of like plow through it. Your symbol is an ox. So you're strong and you keep going through, you keep pushing. But instead of just like pushing through and being strong, being steadfast, being resilient, all those great Taurus qualities, I'm going to invite you to consider, what can you let go of? What of these wands or rods or sticks can you put down that's no longer less necessary? What can you do to lighten your load? So that's going to be my invitation to you at the beginning of January. If you're feeling bogged down, if you're feeling you got a lot to do, if you're feeling like you've been carrying a lot for a long time, try to identify, maybe even just 3 things that you could put down that's not yours, that you don't want to carry anymore. 4 of Coins means, again, kind of feeling stuck. Both of these cards are feeling stuck, feeling bogged down. 4 of Coins has to do with money and material possessions. So it's like holding on to, money's on your mind, money is on your heart, and you're holding on for dear life with just what you got. So it's sometimes called the Midas card, but when money is consuming your thoughts, your feelings, everything that's going on with you, it blocks your heart and it blocks your mind. It makes you immobilized, because this is a card of fear about money, fear about letting go. So sometimes when I see this card, I think of like a clenched fist. It's like trying to hold on to every last cent, every last scrap. It immobilizes him. If you can imagine opening your palm, letting some trust, letting some belief, letting some openness in, that's actually how you can receive more, Taurus. And so I also like the image of, if you're holding like a stick of butter in your hands, the open fist can hold it. If you try to close that fist, everything squeezes out. It's counterproductive to what you're trying to do. So try to loosen up and lighten up when it comes to this card, 4 of Coins. Loosen up and lighten up is something that is good advice for both of these cards. How can you lighten your load? By letting go of what's not necessary. How can you loosen up and lighten up in terms of like clinging on to stuff? What can you do to shake up the immobility and the inflexibility? Because that's what happens with this card. He kind of ossifies into just preoccupation with money. He kind of gets stuck And so I'm going to say increase more trust, more belief. See if you can imagine yourself, Taurus, as carrying a lighter load, having less cares. Try to imagine what that might be like. Is an opportunity to do that if this is what you're feeling. And this, High Priestess and Chariot, these two have to do with trusting your instincts and good decision making. You can see these crescents here that she is wearing on her head and has her feet on, as well as he's got these on his shoulders and on his staff. He's actually got one down here on part of the apparatus for the horses. The crescent moon means the subconscious mind and trusting your feelings, trusting what's inside, your inner knowing, your inner feelings. That's what she's about. She's about being receptive, going within, trusting that inner subconscious mind, connecting to the knowledge that you have inside of you. And then Chariot is about taking that subconscious knowledge, that gut feeling, and making decisions with it, crossing a finish line, achieving a goal, carrying something through to the end. He is able to cross the finish line, have a moment of victory, control his life, go in the direction that he wants to, because he has incorporated the knowledge that High Priestess has. He's able to have a gut feeling about whether to go left or to go right, where to send that chariot, where to go on that path to achieve the goal, to cross the finish line. So I'm going to encourage you, Taurus, tap into your inner knowing, tap into your subconscious mind. This could mean meditation. This could just mean getting quiet. She's very quiet and she's receptive, and therefore she can hear things that others don't hear, because she's not a busy work person. She's not all about action and busy and accomplishment. She gets quiet, taps into that inner knowing. That's what the scroll on her lap is about. It's about knowledge that is there to us just by us listening and getting quiet and tuning in. So tune into your inner self. That's going to help you with decision making going forward. That's what Chariot's about. So Chariot is able to innately change directions, guide these horses, which is the subconscious mind balanced with the conscious mind, knowing, whether to use your left brain or right brain, using that gut instinct, that inner knowing to make decisions, go forward, cross that finish line, achieve. If you think about the difference, by the way, between Chariot and 10 of Wands here, these are some options that are available to you. You can slog it out. You can walk 10 miles with all this weight if you want to. That's kind of a theme that, where your back is breaking, where you're tired, where you're worn out. Or you can tap into that inner knowing, jump on the chariot and go forward easily and lightly, using wheels. Go make your load something where you're in control and you're going in the direction that you want to, instead of carrying all this unnecessary weight, Taurus. You don't have to do this. You can do this, but you don't have to. Lighten your load. Get flexible. Open up your heart. Open up your mind. Don't be like a clenched fist, because that's going to keep you here. If you tap into your inner knowing, maybe meditation, maybe just getting quiet, maybe listening into your inner knowledge, that's going to help you with Chariot and gliding towards a goal, gliding towards victory, gliding towards your desires, knowing where you want to go, knowing what you want to achieve, accomplish, all of that. He carries with him those crescent moons of having tapped into the subconscious, the inner knowing. He wears those as like decoration in his armor. He uses that as his navigation map. So use this energy to help you have a smoother ride, Taurus. That's going to help you a lot at the beginning of January. Get quiet. Tap into your inner knowing. You've got Page of Swords showing up. So, by the way, look at this Lovers energy. 2 of Cups and Lovers. That is fantastic relationship energy. I'll get to that in a second. But Page of Swords means getting to a conviction about something. Swords represent thought, the mental element, things we believe, knowledge, wisdom, understanding, ideas. So Page is usually the younger side of someone. This could potentially be a younger air sign, so like a Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra that you're interacting with, but it could also just be you represented here, or someone who's standing in for the archetype of Page of Swords. And Page of Swords is someone who has a belief that they're willing to crusade for. This says, I am willing, I am optimistic, I think this way, this is what I believe, sign me up, let me go into battle, I'm willing to defend a cause, I'm willing to defend a belief, I'm willing to learn, I stand at the top of this hill and I hold up this sword and saying, this is my belief, I'm willing to declare it, I'm willing to stand up for it, and I'm willing to learn. So this is like novice mind. It's like being willing, being optimistic, getting into the game for something that you believe in. And you, by the way, have another page here. And this is Page of Fire. This is Page of Air. This is Page of Fire. So Page of Fire says, again, I'm optimistic, I'm willing, I'm enthusiastic. And he's a card of action. This is a card of thought. This is a card of action because it's fire. So you've got some nice youthful energy here, Taurus, to employ that towards like getting into something, getting engaged. And I don't mean that in terms of like relationship, but I mean getting involved, getting engaged, stepping into it. So by aligning yourself with that, this is my truth. That's what Page of Swords says too. He says, this is my truth. And Page, by the way, in the tarot can sometimes be considered the feminine element or the feminine aspect. I've heard Page is referred to as the princess, whereas the knight is the prince. In traditional archetypes, the page is the servant to the knight. So the page is the young assistant or the young apprentice to the knight. So this is just like trying things out, trying out a new idea, trying out a new thought, a new belief, and seeing where it leads you, standing up for it. I would like you to consider with middle of the month with Star in reverse, in what ways are you not honoring your own intrinsic value? Or in what way are you disengaging from hope? Or do you feel hopeless? Do you feel worthless? Do you feel not connected to yourself and your own role in the universe? Because Star is a great card of hope. Star is a great card of feeling the intrinsic value that you have just as you are. She's stripped down naked. She's comfortable in that role. She doesn't need any other outer status. She's got one foot in the water, which represents emotions balanced with the earth. So that's your element, Taurus. You're an earth sign. So it means being grounded. And then also having one foot in the emotional world. And the thing about Star is that she acknowledges her own beauty, her own worth, her own place in the universe, just as the bird, the tree, the flower, the star, the natural world, her natural place in the universe. And she finds her own inner radiance through that acceptance of just who she is, without any other status, trappings, anything in relation to the world. She's content. And hope springs from this card. So when it's in reverse, is there a resistance to that? Is there a resistance to you accepting who you are just as yourself? Is there a lack of hope? Is there a lack of recognizing yourself as having worth and value just as you are? That's a question as you explore this new idea and stand up for this truth. Is there a way in which you may need to bring this back into order of self-acceptance, self-awareness, recognizing your own truth, recognizing your own value, employing hope, recognizing that you are, just as you are, as valuable as the bird, the flower, the star, nature? That's a question for you, Taurus. And then once you come through that, you have beautiful, beautiful relationship energy. These two cards together, it almost couldn't be better, Taurus. This is wonderful for relationships. Two of Cups is exchanging of hearts between two people. Cups represent the emotional element. They represent water, which is the emotional heart element. So this is an exchange of hearts between two people. And then this is like the next development of that relationship where they completely strip bare and they are vulnerable, intimate. They're sharing with one another. They're showing each other who they are on a very clear, open, loving way. It's sensuality, it's intimacy, it's vulnerability. I'm getting an echo, by the way, of this card. This is, what it's saying to me is that as you work on accepting yourself just as you are, Taurus, you show up better in relationships. It can be that after you recognize your own value, your own worth, your own intrinsic value and self-acceptance, that it shines forth. It allows this energy in, this Two of Cups, this Lover's energy. This is beautiful stuff, Taurus. This is you showing up authentically, and this is someone else showing up. As you work in your own acceptance of yourself, you open up the chance to share your heart with someone else, and for them to show their heart to you. It's openness. And then intimacy, vulnerability, closeness, that follows. This is love. This is sexuality. This is sensuality. It's emotional closeness. From this emotional connection, it brings you even closer. This is beautiful stuff, Taurus. It's like openness that is coming about through you connecting with yourself and standing up for your own beliefs. Work on your self-acceptance, self-awareness, self-love, and then this radiance comes about, which opens the door to this great partnership energy. As you lighten up, trust, go within, listen to the information that's coming up for you, start making decisions based on that and moving forward. It gives you a connection to what you see to be true, your vision, what you, sometimes your dogma, your beliefs, and then working on self-acceptance. All these doors of relationship stuff open up. It's beautiful. And then also too, this is collaboration. So it's not just with a partner. This is with group efforts, group projects. This is working on something. This is creativity. It's a 3 number. In the Rider-Waite Tarot, there is the worker that we see pictured here. There is the architect, and then there's the client who's going to be using the building. So this really is speaking to group efforts, collaborative projects, group dynamics. Sometimes this can even be multiple streams of income because it's an earth sign. It's card. It's related to money, possessions, assets. So it could say that collaboration is featured here. Collaboration could bring about good results, established results, as well as potentially money. It's creative projects. You might be really enthusiastic about working on creative projects towards the end of the month, Taurus, or group projects are featured, highlighted, beneficial. I get the sense that you are doing this great opening up over the course of January. Even the theme so far is like being heavy and burdened and stuck, going within and listening, finding a smooth ride forward from using that inner knowledge, coming upon a belief, working upon, any feelings of hopelessness or lack of self-worth or lack of intrinsic value, challenging that and opening up to sharing of hearts, participating in relationship, collaborating with others, and also again, back to this willingness, this optimism. This is a card of like, hey, I feel happy-go-lucky. Look at the difference, by the way, Taurus, between this card, 10 of Wands, versus Page of Wands. This is like, I'm young again. And it's funny too, because he's got the same hat here with this feather in it. So I'm kind of getting it's the same person. I'm kind of getting that it's you, Taurus. This is you weighed down. This is you having lightened up. Like, you can be carefree again. You can be, consider what it is that you want to put your attention, energy, action, vitality towards. By lightening up, you have a lot more energy, a lot more vitality, a lot more optimism, youthfulness, all of that available to you. So this is a good little story that's coming about for you, Taurus. I really like it. You know, as you collaborate, as you let go of what's weighing you down, this is what's happening. Then, towards the end of the month, be careful about this Seven of Swords guy. This is risk-taking. This is putting putting your head in the tiger's mouth. This is me behavior. This is what's called hidden dishonor. Be careful when this card shows up. Make sure that you're honest. Make sure that you're being honest with others, and make sure that others are being honest with you, because this card has to do with deception. It has to do with risk-taking. It has to do with criminal behavior. It has to do with me. I'm just going to take these. I'm going to cut corners. I don't care what the consequences are. I'm just going to go and you know, it's just me behavior. So whether this is you or someone else, Taurus, watch out for this at the end of the month. You're going to confront some of this. Someone may accuse you of this. As you become lighter and more enthusiastic and more optimistic, you may have to confront someone who's got me behavior. And there may be a drastic blow up regarding that. It could be that someone's saying, you need to carry my stuff. And you're like, no, I'm lighter. I'm doing my thing. And they're saying, no, you have to do that. It's hard to say what the interaction is here, but you're a lot more prepared to interact with this guy or to recognize this guy, someone who's trying to get away. This could be male or female. Someone who's trying to get away with something. You're a lot more capable of fighting and confronting them. And then this is Tower, which is a sudden and drastic change, blowing apart of the old regime, you know, blowing apart of what's been established, how things always have been. It can change in a sudden instant. And sometimes this can be a card about freedom. So things that burst forth and, you know, break apart old structures. Things don't necessarily have to always be the way that they were. The fact that it's in reverse tells me that it's unforeseen, that this could come out of nowhere, that this could like start a fire in some ways. But think of it as like releasing. It's releasing old stuff. It's releasing old baggage. Try not to resist fear or employ any doubt in terms of allowing this change to come, because it's coming. Try to work with it. Try to embrace it as something that is necessary or good. It's below the surface. You're not going to see it coming necessarily, Taurus, but there's a storm coming that's going to wash everything clean, that's going to break apart the old structures. Whatever that means for you, whether it's a relationship, a way of living. I kind of get that it's related to this, that it's like, I'm no longer willing to do things that I've always done, that I've always, the old story is what I'm going to say here. This old story is going to be going bye-bye. So that's my reading for you, Taurus. So enjoy those. If you enjoyed this reading, please feel free to give it a thumbs up or share it with another Taurus who you think might enjoy it. As always, I just want to thank everyone for watching.